So today we're going to be taking a look at a couple of brand new G-Shocks, a new full metal Casioak and a full metal square. But first, redemption. Last time I made a video up here at the cottage, I had zero luck when it comes to fishing, so got to fix that. Little sunfish, not what I'm after here, but I feel somewhat redeemed from the last fishing trip. A little bit better angle so you can see the colors. Pretty fish, but putting them back. So, redemption. Got our beautiful largemouth bass here. I was not ready with the camera at all, but not bad. Let's talk G-Shock. All right, so back home from a quick trip to the cottage and to the watches here, though. So I've owned a couple of the full metal squares and a few of the regular resin Casioaks, but for me the square is usually where it's at, although this blue dial on the Casioak looks so good. My main issue with the Casioak lineup has always been the small digital display, though. It makes it very difficult to use some of the functions of the watch with it being so tiny, and the fact that it's a negative display on this one doesn't help the situation either. Now, for me, most of the time I'm using this just to tell the time, and it does that very well. If you do have better eyes than me and can see that smaller display, the watch has some of the usual suspects when it comes to functions. The 3 o'clock sub-dial will show you which mode you're in as you cycle through them, and up first is world time. Then there's the stopwatch, there's the timer, and alarms. There's some other functions you can access through the app. So the watch does have Bluetooth connectivity to connect to your phone, and it's solar as well. The buttons on both watches are a good size. Compared to a resin square, you can see they're a fair amount larger and quite a bit easier to use. In low light, you have two things happening to help read the time. First of all, with the press of the upper right pusher, you get that dual LED lighting, one LED for backlighting the digital display and one for the dial. Does the trick, and the hands and markers are also loomed, and the loom is actually pretty good, so no problem with legibility here in low light. So overall, cool watch, and even though I'd probably go for the square, this does look really good with that blue dial. Size on the watch comes in at a case width of 44.4 millimeters. The lug to lug is 49.8 millimeters, although the fixed end links bring that out to 60.7 millimeters. Thickness is 12.6 millimeters, and the water resistance is 200 meters. The square doesn't have quite the flashy look of the other, with not nearly as much blue happening, and you can see it actually kind of almost fades to, not kind of, it actually looks black in certain lighting, but I sort of feel like this would have looked better with a positive display. It definitely would have been easier to read, but I'm still digging this one too. So as usual, we have solar, multiband 6, and Bluetooth connectivity for the app. The watch has similar functions as the other, with world time, with the same push of that lower left button, alarm, stopwatch, and timer. Push the upper right button, again gives us a backlight, and you can set it to auto so it turns on when you raise your wrist to check the time. The bracelet is the same on both watches, and I really like these full metal bracelets. There's quite a bit of flex, but partly because of that, they're comfy on wrist. We also have a taper down to about 18 millimeters at the clasp, which helps with that too. Good solid clasp. 4 micro adjusts. And if you haven't sized one of these, it's a little bit different. The links are connected by spring bars, so it's not quite the same technique than sizing other bracelets, but it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. I'll just hit you with the numbers here, and size on the square. The case width comes in at 43.4 millimeters. Lug to lug is 49.4 millimeters. Same fixed end length, so the effective lug to lug is 60.7 millimeters. thickness is 13.5 millimeters, and again, another 200 meters of water resistance here. And here is the square on my 7¼ wrist. And yeah, just the basics with these today, but just wanted to give you a quick look at some new options from Gshock. Cost for these is the same at $550 USD for each watch, and these are available right now at Gem Bijou in Toronto. They have a lot of cool stuff when it comes to Gshock, so definitely check them out. Link will be below. Thanks for taking a few minutes to stop by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.